Right, so we're going to talk about ATP and what it is. Okay, so first of all, we're going to talk about currency. If we were to travel to Greece and we took our British pound, our money is not recognised in that country. So we'd have to go to the bank and we'd have to change our currency. So we'd change our British pound into the euro so that when we flew to Greece, went to buy something, they recognised the currency that we're working in. Kind of similar to this in the fact that when we put food in our body, food is then broken down into ATP, which is the currency of energy. So put the food in, it exchanges it and turns it into ATP. And that's what we've got here. So ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate. Now you can see the red A here. The red A is one adenosine molecule. And then we have these blue like bridges, and they are high energy bonds. And then we've got the 3 Ps, which are 3 phosphate molecules, and it's called adenosine triphosphate because it has 3 phosphate molecules, tri for 3. So what happens and how does it produce energy? Well, what we've got is we've got an enzyme. Here's the enzyme, and what enzymes are used to do is to break things down. Now this enzyme is actually called ATPase. Apologies for the writing. Okay, so this enzyme is called ATPase, and what it does is, if you think about an enzyme in the washing machine or the washing powder, that enzyme breaks down the stains in your clothes. Well, this enzyme breaks down the high energy bond here, so it's going to come up here. It's going to break down this high energy bond. So we get the rubber and we'll break that high energy bond. Why does it break that bond? Well, when ATPase, the enzyme, breaks down the high energy bond, it produces energy so that your muscles can then contract. What are we left with? Well, this is what we're left with. So we've got one adenosine molecule. We've got a high energy bond here. We've got 1 P here, and we've got another P here. And this is known as, now called ADP. Okay, because we've lost a phosphate molecule, so it's called adenosine diphosphate. Di standing for 2 phosphate molecules. What has to happen is, obviously we've broken the bonds, we've produced energy. We need to recreate ATP to create more energy. Now, depending on what system you're using, depends on how that energy is resynthesized, or how that P is resynthesized. So we've got our P sat over here, and what has to happen is that something has to help that P join back onto the ADP to create ATP again, so that energy can be produced again for another contraction. And then that is effectively how ATP, adenosine triphosphate, produces energy for your body. What we're going to do now is going to look at the 3 different energy systems and look at how that P is resynthesized back onto the ATP.